Hello, my name is Gerald van Was. After more difficult videos, it's about time to give you some more examples that show themselves as they are, that show results just as results, without too much complicated theory. All these videos are about about ways how to change letter combination into a form and meaning based upon the theory that I very quickly will show you what it is about, but I will mostly in this video show you results of them, how results can be shown by the combinations of letters and the order of letters. It will show you a different result, and even just with just one singular vowel that is different, it already gives you different results. And I will give you the examples of LIFT, LOFT, LAFT, LUFT, what's the German word, and LAFT, which is a Nordic word, all via the same method. And very quickly I say, this is the theory in the background. I have three different ways of giving an order to all the letters that are based upon the numerical system. And the first ones will show places in space, the second one will show time changes, and the last one will direct you to the correct contextual interconnection, let's say. And the letters that are needed are not many of them. You can check them again from this scheme if you like, but the results, how they come forward and how they are also changed into a form, can also be derived from this scheme. But I will not go into the theory. I will go into the results, and I will show you letter by letter how the forms are changed. The most easy forms are mostly with which are letters that already are expressing a formation process, like U, L, E, O, and the foundations A and T doesn't make it difficult, because these are really very basic foundations. The F is a little bit more complicated, it has more variety, but that doesn't matter. Let's show you the words with LFT, and we start of course with lift. And so we have the L with its followed by its own formation process, the E, so I apply it somewhere. F, this will go into all kinds of directions, minimum 3 kinds of directions, and the word ends as a function. So I have a physical form or formation applied to something that I can use in as a general tool, and this tool, which as the E says, you can use this as a good idea. This tool is showing how this form is going into a direction or different directions as a function as well towards some kind of placement. So via the F means also via some choice of placement. This is not about the word itself, it's about the letters and how the letters are showing a reference, and they always show that kind of reference. The basics why this is so is also described in my books in a more complicated way, also with dimensions and so on, but that is the result. It will always show that kind of choice in that way, then also of placement. Well, because it starts from L, you can have of course stages of growth, and when I combine this, I could also combine the variations of F and have a move on its own. I have this move forward. And I can have the lift either separately going. It's like the lift or the elevator. It's this. The lift is also used as in association with an elevator. In Dutch, it is used as the elevator. It brings you up or down to different floors, to different directions. But the lifting itself is also lifting something up in a variety of movement. It's a gradual lifting up. It's not a lifting up immediately to the top, just like the elevator doesn't do that. It's the lifting gradually pulling it up. Then you have the LOFT. This also starts with a physical formation into an environment towards the right and fit movement as well. Moment that I recognize something in an environment. This will find also directions from there into a functional place. This place can be also from there on in different positions into that same environment in which I have formed something, or I've found something there that has taken shape for me with a function, and I said that it has a function for me. Because of the O, it also is related with not just a moment that I see it, that it's fit, but it's also always related with a localization where I find the perfect moment for my loft. And we know that the loft is on top, and we want, of course, to go there with the L. It can have also, it's not just a formation process, it's also that I like it that it's growing. It's that kind of thing that I go there, can be associated from there as well. Let's go for, but okay, it's in general it's about a physical form or formation basically, but if you see it from my center point of view, it's grown to beyond that. So but now I have the left, I have this physical form of formation which travels, let's say, sideways in time, because the E is in the vertical position. All the letters have, at least from the first two categories, they have a horizontal, vertical and diagonal plane as well on which they exist. And the plane of the second category, which are always in green to show you that there is a change and so on, are also always in from somewhere to somewhere, like time produces that association in our mind to pinpoint something in time. So in time we need a starting point and an ending point, and it say, okay, it moves to there. So here you have the physical formation that moves, of course, away in time into a direction. So it can be different directions, but of course we always preferably take one choice, but you can have another choice or third choice, and the movement itself will gradually be formed because of the A, and it will also be prolonged because of this A, which is basically timing, which gives you the feeling that if you break off these odd formations, that it gives you the feeling of these leftovers from the progress, the leftovers, the left behind. That kind of things are associated easily with left. It's also a direction, actually, it's a specific direction. In a way, everything that moves in time goes from left to right. That's how we describe it easily. But even then, if you add the letters to it, it's always a step behind. It's left, and it's accidentally also at the left. We use it, L, as a physical form in time into a specific, into a direction. Mostly it would have been a choice, but with the T immediately after that, it can be a very specific, specified one, and of course a functional one. That's how we also use left against right. If you would design right, it would show you also this turning wheel, but here the turning wheel will take with them the things so that they are right. So right and left are also considered not just associations in direction, but it's also an association in many different ways. I would even say in an emotional way. The left is what we leave over, and the right is what we think it is right. That kind of associations are made from these functional positions quite easily. I explained them in some other video as well, compared to the Chinese words for left and right. And here this is a bit of an extension of that idea, that you can see that there are some tendencies in how we treat left or right. But let's go to LUFT, which is a German word which means air. Again, you have this physical formation process which goes into the U, or a partial development. So it's only partially in development, you can also say. And this will also be dispersed in directions. You could even say like it's already in the partial thing, so it's partially evolving, so a little bit more, a little bit less, and then if you do that more and more and more, it will be, because of the U and because of the F, it will go in many more directions. And splits off in tiny bits of directions. But it's also functional, and it's also at a place. So that was more or less Luft or air as it is associated. I was a bit quick here to the next slide, but there is a word which doesn't need much more. You have the Luft underneath, you can still see it, and when it's there's another word which is LAFT. I can't pronounce it exactly because it's a Nordic word, but if you pronounce it, its own on its own as a letter is always getting the things more physical in space and so on. It's getting much more physical than the Luft. Now, if you just an association, if you have this Luft and dispersion in the air that is getting thicker, that gives you indeed a bit the sense of feeling of that it's laugh, as it exists also in English, that the air is getting more thick and dense as a matter of speaking. Well, the same thing is still happening there underneath. I hope these brought you closer to the meanings of these letters, and I think they were a bit more easy in that way, that you can recognize what is going on by the combining the letters and seeing the differences with the vowels. I hope you enjoyed. This was Joutio Havawas website, books, subscription on the YouTube channel, subscription in the Facebook channel, subscription even on the website as well. You can do all these things from here onwards. Thanks again. Bye.